It's been nearly 10 years that I've been in this business of self-publishing, and a lot has changed, but there are some constants that have remained in place, and especially when it comes to the platform of Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. And I've seen so many mistakes, and some of them I have been 100% guilty of, because as one finger's pointed forward, three is pointed back at me. So today we're going to talk about some of the Amazon KDP mistakes you're making and how you can resolve some of those issues in today's podcast episode.
Learn how to publish books and build your author business with award-winning author and self-publishing consultant Dale L. Roberts. This is the Self-Publishing with Dale podcast.
I just want, of course, started out, you guys and gals know that I get sponsors, and for the past few months, I've shared a lot about my sponsors, Dibbly Create. This cloud-based word processing software is great for many of my writing projects, and that's not just limited to the books here, folks. I use it for much, much more than that. I produce my blog posts and articles, video scripts, and even use it for light grammar checking. The AI-integrated bot Kip handles everything for me, including rewriting, brainstorming, and even prompting. Let's face it, working with AI can be fun, but on most generative AI platforms, you need a host of fancy prompts just to get something passable. Not with Kip or Dibbly Create. Their deep library of AI prompts make it dead simple for even the least tech savvy out there. Get free or premium access to Dibbly Create when you visit my affiliate link at dalelinks.com/DibblyCreate. Find out why I rave so much about this platform today. And I just have to say it again here, folks, off script. Dibbly Create. Fantastic. I love them, and I will be continuing to use them. And you're going to be hearing more about them here in the very near future. So let's talk about some of these mistakes that people are making on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, you are probably guilty of one or more of these. I know I have been in the past here, and maybe to a certain extent currently. And that just kind of goes to show that, look, you know, even though I'm the man behind this whole podcast and YouTube and such like that, I still make mistakes. But I'm very self-aware of these things, and this is what's going to limit my ability to reach more readers and to get more book sales. So I've got 10 mistakes. We're going to limit it to that because I can probably go with about 100 of them. But these ones I think are particularly ornery. I'm just going to say that they're particularly not good. How about that? There we go. Let's not try to use fancy words here today, Dale. So let's start out, and this is no order of importance here, folks. So you're just going to be getting a lot of these. So take notes. Keep up here with me. Number 1, publishing and praying. Oh my goodness. If I had a dime for every time someone said, I'm publishing something on Amazon and I'm not getting any sales, what gives? Okay, what are you doing for marketing and promotion? I shared it with my friends and family. Great. That's not going to do anything. Amazon will not promote your book unless you promote it. It's a fact of life here, folks. They want to have proof of concept. They want to know that the specific item that is being put on their marketplace is worth their time and investment to send it out to their active buyers. So that proof of concept is going to come through the traffic that you're sending, as well as the sales you're making. How you make sales? Okay, well, it's just going to be as simple as sending people on over there and having the right cover, the copy, and the right price point, and hitting the right audience. And here's what all that comes down to is relevance. Relevance inside the Amazon algorithms. So are you selling enough books to maintain relevance within your given category or keywords? Because if you're not making any sales, then guess what? They're not going to push you. Yes, I understand. There are some outliers out there that some people are able to just publish it and then boom, they just sell stuff overnight without even having an email newsletter or anything else like that. But those are the outliers. They are the exception to the rule. You absolutely must market and promote your book. In fact, I hear a lot of times, and you'll even hear me say this from time to time, that the hardest thing about writing is going to be doing the first draft. Yeah, sort of. But the whole process of writing and publishing that's the hardest is the marketing and promotion. Because it's never ending, folks. It never ends. If you want to continue to get book sales, you have to continue to market and promote. Why does McDonald's pump millions of dollars in ads so that people can get, more information about them? Well, it's because you stay at the top of someone's attention span and their information feed, if you will. Everybody knows about McDonald's. Why do they need to advertise? Well, it's because they know that if they don't continue to be at the top of mind with their customers, they're going to forget about them. They're going to go over to Chick-fil-A or Burger King or any of the other ones that are putting money and time into marketing and promotion. Now, the good news is you don't need to spend millions of dollars like McDonald's in order to market and promote. Sometimes the best and most effective means of selling more books is just being more visible. And that's going to be the thing, is be visible on a daily basis if you want to sell more books. Now, number 2, this one's an interesting one, and this is probably the more recent one of them. And this one slays me because it even says in Amazon KDP's help page that the new category selection process, you're able to get from 1 to 3 categories. They had actually done some research and found that 10 categories that we originally could get was not doing us any favors. If anything, it was confusing the algorithms and making it a little bit less likely to be served to the right audience. So the more specific that you can get, the better. So I understand that previously I said, look, if you've got the ability, get 10 categories on a book. That worked previously. But it was earlier in 2023 that they had the new category system, and now they're saying less is more. Now, if for some reason you've got these 10 categories and you're slaying it, and you've got the 10 categories, don't touch it. Absolutely don't touch it. But if you are not getting any amount of sales and it's not making any bit of difference, change them. Get them changed now, because that's going to make a world of a difference. Where you are placing your book is going to be the most difference, because it's going to be put alongside other books that are like it. So that way, when those other books sell, they're going to have recommendations. Amazon's going to have more recommendations that they can send out to those people who just bought that book. I'm going to tell you this. I'm a sucker for relevance over on Amazon. I will buy a book and then they'll send me an email and it'll be like, hey, you'll like this one as well. And I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. And I read the sample. I'm like, yeah, that actually is really good. And I end up buying it. So update your categories, folks. Stop dragging your feet. If you're making a significant amount of sales, just don't listen to me on this particular one. But if you aren't making any sales, switch those categories now. Number 3, your 7 back-end keywords are just too broad. And what I mean that they're just too broad is there are a lot of times that people think that a keyword is just a single word. That they're thinking, oh, okay, so let's say, for instance, I'm in historical fiction. So I'm just going to go ahead and put historical fiction inside one of my 7 back-end keyword slots. Yeah, that's okay, but keep in mind that historical fiction breaks down into sub-niches and sub-genres that you have to be aware of. And the more exact and more precise that you can be, the more likely you're going to be served to the audience that appreciates you the most. Now, Kindlepreneur Dave Chesson actually has done a full case study on how to leverage the 7 back-end keywords. You can go over to dalelinks.com/7 Kindle keywords to get more details about how to fill those ones. But specifically, what I'll typically do is I do 2 keyword slots specific to a category. This way, whenever, and these are going to seem really broad, but it's just a good way to double down on the category selection. So first of all, I'm not being rejected from those categories. And the next thing is to really say, okay, I absolutely belong in this category and should be served out to these people that are looking within this category. And I also do about 1 to 4 slots for an exact match keyword, meaning that I have in a precise word. So let's say it's werebear shapeshifter romance for adults. I'm just going to throw that one out. That was a nice, long, broad keyword phrase. I don't know if it's an actual thing, but I'm going for an exact match, meaning that no other keywords are being placed into that specific keyword slot along with that keyword. Now, you're probably saying, what about those other keyword slots? Well, about 1 to 4 of those other slots is going to be a broad match keyword, meaning that I'm going to take 1 or more keywords that have overlap and place them into one specific keyword slot. So let's say, for instance, I've got home workout and I've got workout plan and I've got workout for men over 55. I can take all of that, put it together. Home workout plan for men over 55. I've spliced that entire thing together, put that entire broad keyword match, and then it kind of tells the Amazon algorithms like, hey, look, you got to make some sense of this alphabet soup. You're going to figure out anybody that broadly matches any of these, combinations of keywords. So this is not an exact science, folks, but you do need to get it to where you're very specific about what you're putting in those 7 keyword slots. Now, bonus, double down on those keywords by using them anywhere you can. So if you've put in your 7 back-end keyword slots, with the exception of your title, your subtitle, and your series name, you want to make sure that you put it in your description, you put them in your A+ content, you put it in your editorial review section when, of course, Amazon Author Central gets that working again. I hear it's been down lately. You can put it on your series page descriptions as well. Anywhere that you can put these keywords is a great way to double down on what you have in your 7 back-end keywords. Number 4, choosing one publication type. Now, I understand that there are limitations when it comes to audiobooks. There are, and we're talking about KDP specifically. And I understand that they have a new beta program for audiobooks, but we're just going to put a pin in that one. It's not involved in this conversation. You have 3 specific iterations you can publish for your books, including ebooks, paperbacks, and hardcovers. Now, I understand as well that if you don't have a long enough book, that you probably aren't going to be able to do hardcovers, considering that you have to have a minimum page count of 75 pages or more. A little bit of ingenuity, though, you can probably be able to get that stretched out just a little bit. I'm not saying that you could put a whole bunch, blank pages in there, but figure out a way that you can make it work to where you're delivering more value. Good friend of mine here and a former guest of the channel, Susan Montgomery, is a great example of this. She wasn't able to get a particular type of publication through, I think it was Standard Color. And then she thought, you know what, let me put in some additional artwork and some sheet music into this that will help them out. By the way, spoiler alert, she did a ukulele book. And at any rate, she was able to do that and it delivered more value to them. Now, okay, get that ebook out, get that paperback book out, and get that hardcover. Find some way to hit all 3 of those iterations, because the fact of the matter is, not everybody likes ebooks, not everybody likes paperbacks, and not everybody likes hardcovers. Giving your readers options really increases the likelihood of a sale. Because if you can show that you're inclusive of all reading types, you're going to get a reader for life. So figure out a way to make it happen. So you're not just doing, let's say, for instance, ebooks. And I don't care what expert tells you that, well, romance only sells ebooks. And shut up. There is a ton of people out there that buy romance paperback covers. If you're not selling paperback books in the romance genre, it's because you're not marketing it right. I can tell you that from decades of work inside the senior industry, of working with the older adult population, they love paperback books. I couldn't convince them to get an e-reader or read an ebook. They will pick up those paperbacks and hardcovers any day of the week. Number 5. Not claiming your author profile through Author Central. Yes, it's free, folks. You can set up an author profile through Amazon Author Central. Here's the thing. It's an additional way to index your content. What do I mean by index? Well, it makes you more discoverable. It's like a way of just like, okay, Dale published this book. Here's the product page for this book. But we're going to go ahead and put an additional landing page here for this book through Author Central, through this author profile. So get that author profile. I understand this is not everybody that's guilty of this, but claim your author profile, claim your books through that author profile, and start sending people over towards that direction so they have even more books to get beyond just the one of the 60 books maybe you've published over the last few years. Not saying that everybody's doing 60 books, but either way. Number 6, not getting consistent reviews. Oh, yes, reviews. That's the social proof. That is the lifeblood of what gets it to where people are going to buy your book. In fact, over in the Amazon Advertising Certification course, I've shared it a time or two that 91% of customers look at the reviews before making a purchase. And that is going to be a good idea. And furthermore, in the Amazon Advertising Certification course, they said that in order to be retail ready, you need to have at least 15 reviews of 3.5 stars or greater as an average. I've done entire podcasts about this. So if you want more information about how to do reviews, go back into any of my old podcasts where I do talk about that. Heck, I've even got a book called Amazon Reviews for Books where I tell you exactly how to do it. You could sit down and read it within an afternoon. Like literally, it's like 2 hours possibly to read, tops, if you were to go slow. Go to dalelinks.com/reviewsbook and you'll be able to get more details about that. But let me go ahead and give you the TLDR. Ask in your book. Ask on social media, ask in your email newsletter, ask in your interviews, ask on your website. Ask, ask, ask. If you want more reviews, you gotta ask. You can't just expect people to do it for you. Yeah, you've written something marvelous. It's great. It's fantastic. But unless you actually guide your readers to do it, they're probably not going to do it for you. It's just simple facts here, folks. Number 7, relying on KDP Select despite no return. Okay, I've heard you guys. I've heard some people come in there and be like, yeah, you're always talking about publishing wide. You want to know why I'm talking about publishing wide so often? It's because there's so many authors, a lot of them, in the various communities I've been part of that enroll their books in KDP Select because they've been told that's where they should be doing it. That's how they should be doing this business, but it is not appropriate for everybody. KDP Select is an exclusivity program that you place your ebook into. It doesn't affect your paperback book. It doesn't affect your hardcover book. But when you go and enroll one specific ebook, that ebook is to stay on Amazon's platform exclusively. Here's the thing. If you are not seeing a significant return on being in the KDP Select program, you're working at a greater disadvantage. In fact, I'm going to give you just a bare minimum to really consider keeping your book within KDP Select. If you're not making more than about $1,000 per month on that specific ebook using KDP Select, consider going wide. Consider going to other platforms. You can go to Kobo Writing Life, Google Play Books, Apple Books for Authors. There's so many options out there. And I've found a lot of times that when people go wide, they'll reach out to me and go, oh my gosh, you were so right. I should have been publishing wide a long time ago. Look, folks, Amazon makes up, and I think I read a stat earlier today that they do about 50 to 80% of online publication profits. And that was in 2022, if I can recall. And that's great. That's fantastic. But that doesn't mean that there's not still millions of dollars being made off of Amazon. So don't limit yourself to that, and don't feel that you have to stay with Amazon because somebody told you in a video that KDP Select is perfect for everybody. It's not. It isn't. In fact, I'd say a great majority of my books aren't in KDP Select because they just don't get rewarded that way. So if you find after about a year of just marketing and promoting your tail off and you're not getting any return on KDP Select, remove it from enrollment, go wide. You'll thank me. Number 8, blindly running Amazon ads. Oh my gosh. Throwing money at the problem, folks, won't get you very far. I can't tell you how many times some people come to me and they say, Amazon ads don't work. Okay. What all did you learn and how did you apply it? I've seen some people where they've had these unrealistic expectations of putting $2 per day as an ad budget and 2 cents cost per click. Well, of course, that's not going to work very well. Then again, there's the exact opposite where I've met somebody legit had a $3,000 per day budget and $1 per click. And they burnt through that money fast. It was crazy. Of course, it's not going to work if you don't know what you're doing. Slow down. The first thing you need to do is, if you don't know Amazon ads, go in with the low budget and low CPC. Low cost per click, that is. And if you were going to go low, lowest you can go is 2 cents. And I would recommend, this is just my recommendation based on what I learned through the Amazon ads certification courses, I'd recommend starting out $10 per day. Anything less than that, I mean, could you do it? Yeah, but will it be very successful? Probably not. But go into this with the thought of learning the process, learning how this goes. Find out what works and what doesn't work. Don't go into this and Amazon ads with the expectation of, okay, I'm going to spend $10 per day and I'm going to get a return on my investment right away. Nah. Sometimes it can take upwards of months. Depending on the niche, it might be very tough to advertise within that. And here's the other thing, folks. I've said this time and again. The Amazon Ads certification courses are 100% free. Free, folks. Just open up your Amazon Ads dashboard, top right corner. There's a question mark with a circle around it. Click on that. It says training courses. There is a ton of information there. Take your time. Go through it. You could study some every day, and I promise you will not get through all of it. And here's the thing. This is going to segue perfectly over to the point number 9. Not tapping into the free Amazon advertising certification courses. It's free, folks. It's not all that hard. Stop spending money on $1,000 designer courses out there. You know who I'm talking about. You're spending upwards of about $1,000. Heck, I saw someone spending $2,500 for a course on publishing books. Are you kidding me? Seriously? I'm going to go take out a mortgage on my house in order to get your course that might help me out? No. Stop spending that money. Go right to the source. Amazon Advertising Certification Courses has everything you could possibly need, and it's very intuitive. Has tests you can take as you go along. Do it, folks. You will thank me. Even if you do not plan to advertise through their platform, take the courses. They give you a better understanding of the Amazon platform as a whole. You noticed actually a couple of times I've referenced the certification course. A few times. Yeah. And that's probably not even all the information I've learned by going into there. And by the way, this is like the 3rd year running that I've been using it because I go in and I try to renew my certifications there, keep myself sharp. Try it out, folks. You'll thank me. Number 10. Now, this one's a little bit more regarding low content books, and I see this happen a lot. And granted, here more lately, they actually have throttled the uploads to about roughly 3 books per day. And they will make some exceptions for some accounts, but there are low content book publishers out there that were just cramming thousands of books within the course of a month. And the reason why they were doing thousands was they were only doing a slight deviation of one type of book. They would have, let's say, a journal that would have a red cover, and it would have a blue cover, and then it would have a black cover. And they would only change the color and such. Folks, it's not Walmart. Okay. We don't need to go, if you want to have various colors, just go to the local Walmart, pick a color and go with it. Stop trying to put every freaking deviation out there and hoping one thing sticks. Go with one color, stick with it. When you find one that works really well, double down on that idea. Double down on that concept. Low content books, folks, it shouldn't be so hard. And yet you're making it hard on yourself. So, just want to give a quick shout out and a special thanks to my sponsors, Dibbly Create. For the past few months, they've helped support this podcast through a paid sponsorship. If you want to help support this podcast, one of the greatest ways to do it is by supporting my sponsors. Visit dalelinks.com/Dibbly Create to get a free or premium account today to Dibbly Create. I don't just choose any sponsor for my podcast. I handpicked Dibbly Create for how innovative and forward-thinking they are in the writing and self-publishing space. Again, that's dalelinks.com/Dibbly Create. This will not be the last time you hear about Dibbly Create from me. Here are my final thoughts and a few tips to avoid these mistakes. First of all, network with other authors. Get involved in other communities. I've got a community here with Discord and Facebook, but there are so many others that are available through Reddit, heck, even through some hashtags over on Twitter. TikTok's got a bunch of one. Just start to talk to other authors in the space. Stop trying to do this by yourself. This is not commando here, folks. You're not going to get a gold medal of honor for trying to do this business by yourself. Learn from other people's mistakes. Share what mistakes that you've made and how you've corrected those issues. And that will really help to where it raises everybody else up. As the old saying goes from the self-help community, is the rising tide raises all boats. Plug into online resources like the Alliance of Independent Authors. KDP's help page is a great one. Heck, even YouTube videos and podcasts. Never stop learning, folks. Never stop learning. A great example of someone who never stops learning is the founder of Kobo Writing Life, Mark Leslie Lefebvre. He's also a consultant for Drafted Digital as well. He's getting a freaking doctorate in publishing, folks. I was like, why? Why? He goes, because I want to learn more. I was like, wow, this is a dude that's been in around for decades, since the 90s, folks. Crazy. And he never wants to stop learning, neither do I. The next thing is diversify. Now, you don't always have to publish wide to diversify. There's so many ways you can diversify your business, from doing a blog to, heck, Substack is a great way to kind of, subsidize some of your earnings. Get a freelance gig over on Fiverr. Find a way that you can diversify your author platform and reach more potential readers. And there's just so many ways you can diversify your business. Yeah, publishing wide is one avenue, but think of ways that you can take the same content and even spread it out. Translations is one. Selling your rights as well. That's another one. I could go on and on about this here, folks, but instead I'll tell you next week, we start a new podcast series where we focus on 4 viable alternatives to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. The first part in this series will focus on Draft to Digital. Are they better than KDP? And what sets them apart from the rest? And how can they improve their offerings to better suit discerning KDP publishers? This series will bleed over into the new year, and I'll be starting a new series focusing on various aspects of the publishing business. Till later, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll chat with you next week.
You've been listening to the Self-Publishing with Dale podcast. Visit us at selfpublishingwithdale.com for more information on how you can level up your self-publishing business. Also, check out our growing video-on-demand service, chock full of free and premium content, when you head over to theselfpublishinghub.com. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on your preferred podcasting platform. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.